All right. Well, here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thursday Night Hang here on the Coffee and Cigars live stream on the Ono Live channel. How you doing? If you're just joining us for the very first time, we do this live stream most Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about coffee and a little bit about coffee, and we also talk about cigars, mostly about cigars, really. Tonight, we're going to be smoking this cigar from a long time ago. This is a cigar I've had since 2011. I bought it back in October 2011, and it is the 2009 L'Esprit de Verite from Pete Johnson and Tatuaje Cigars. Now, this is a cigar that came out, as you see, it's 2009, but I didn't get it until 2011 because this wasn't released until 2011, because Pete's got this whole thing where he's very much about, he's very into wines. And so the idea of the Esprit de Verite is that he wanted to have like a special release, single vintage cigar, much like a single vintage wine, meaning that all the wine grapes will come from a particular winery or vineyard. This is kind of in that vein where it's all from one farm. The tobacco is all from one farm. Mom's with us. What's going on, Mom? How are you doing? Good to see you. How's everything going? It's been a while. And we got this coming up. And so it took 2 years for them to release it, just like a Cabernet or let's say like a he's a big fan of not the Rhine, not the Rhone. He's a big fan of Saint-Emilion, right? From that side of, I'm not really a Bordeaux. He's more of a fan of Bordeaux. I'm more of a fan of Chateauneuf. So I don't know much about Bordeaux. So we're going to try this and see what it's like. I probably should have tried to find, oh man, I might even had a Tatuaje wine somewhere. Well, we missed that. But as you can see, I'm wearing this hat that says Rusty's Hawaiian. This is Rusty's mom's place, and his sister works there. And I decided to put this on because I've been wearing this shirt all day this morning. This is one of their shirts. They gave it to me a few years ago. But, I don't like to wear hats too long, so it's kind of gets me all a little bit. I feel like I want to itchy. But I thought I'd wear that for a little while because they gave it to me, and that was very kind. And this shirt here is actually, I didn't fit into this shirt. It was like a muscle shirt last year. Like it's all like tight. Now it's not, it's kind of loose. It's kind of like, whoa, kind of different. All right, so we're gonna do some coffee here. And the coffee we're gonna do is not from Rusty's, even though that would be the most natural path we should have taken. I don't really have any from Rusty's, or at least no coffee from Rusty that's roasted at the moment. So I'm gonna have to go with something else. The same, for those of you who may watch the morning show on the Ono Coffee channel, we're gonna use the same coffee from this Ismaili Yemeni coffee from my friend Michael Miyake's shop in Tokyo called Mocha Coffee. Now, the connection here with Mocha and Rusty is that it was Rusty's sister, Joan, and her husband, Ralph, that were like, on a trip that I was going to Japan, like 2014, they were like, when you go to Japan, you should go visit Mocha and meet Michael. And I was like, what? All right, I'm going to check her out. And so I went to meet Michael that trip, and we've been friends ever since. Really nice time. And so there's the connection here, right? So we're going to do that. And we're going to make this coffee kind of like we did this morning, if you watch this morning. But we're going to make some changes to it because this morning we were using this grinder. And this grinder was perfectly fine, but it was a little bit on the coarse side. So I'm going to tighten it up just a hair, maybe 2 clicks, just to give it a little bit more extraction. Let's get the grinder ready here. So how's your weeks been? Everything good? Anything interesting? Are you guys outside, inside? What's happening? And what are you drinking? What are you smoking? I want to know all those things. I'm presuming whenever Tony joins, this is going to be with his Diet Tray Pepsi. When George comes, I'm presuming there's going to be some kind of El Huehuense or something from the Foundation cigar. There's always anytime he goes to something other than Foundation, I'm always a little bit surprised. All right, so I'm going to put that coffee in there. And the nice thing, we put this coffee in here, it's going to be, it holds just enough. I haven't weighed this yet. I probably should at some point. Craig's with us. What's going on, Craig? Finally, finally a day that I can smoke out. So excellent. Here in Maryland, we've got warm but humid weather that was kind of nice, not too hot, but not terrible. And then it started to rain and thunderstorm, and now it's kind of like in between thunderstorm, so I don't know where we're going with that, but not too bad out here in the garage. Let's start grinding. Maybe the guys in the morning show, right? Maybe I should get a different grinder. Although that Zassenhaus is kind of nice. Like this serves a decent purpose. Like if it's compact, it's good for. I would imagine that it's good for travel if you really want to have one for travel. But you know me, I don't really like to travel and bring grinders. I really only do hand grinding for the show. I don't really do it for any other reason. I probably should have just pre-ground this today. Thought we might actually be at the food market again. Good thing we weren't caught out in the rain. But the food markets that was participating in a new farmers market out in Columbia, Maryland. That started today from 3 to 7 p.m. There's the new Meriwether District Farmers Market, and they had a booth there, and I think it went pretty well. So this feels harder to turn than this morning. Like I'm fighting with it more, and I don't know if that's because it's more difficult or I'm just more fatigued. I feel more fatigued. I've been out all day long delivering coffee, and then I thought I was going to have a meeting with someone at 5 o'clock, so I was hanging out, and I was like, all right, let me go. I got like 4 hours to kill. Let me go do something. I went to the mall and jumped in a movie. There was a 1:30 showing of Ballerina with Ana de Armas, and for me, I'm surprised I hadn't seen it yet, but I was like, ooh, Ana de Armas, $12. That's a pretty good price. I will go and watch Ana. And man, she is stunning. That woman is stunning. And she's amazing as a person because she came from Cuba, 10 years ago, didn't speak English, and now she speaks very good English. She's a movie star. Evidently, she's kind of linked up in some way or unconfirmed with Tom Cruise. Now, Tom Cruise is 62 years old. Ana de Armas is 37. The girl, my girlfriends, not my girlfriends, but my friends who are girls, they're always giving me a hard time. They're always like, oh, you should not be dating those girls. They're just too young for you. Maybe they're 10 years, whatever. And I'm like, what's the problem? So I'm going to see some of them this weekend and be like, hey, Ana de Armas and Tom Cruise. Yeah, that's fine. Then shut up. Okay. No more commentary about that anymore. If you think Tom and Anna are okay, then no more commentary. All right, here we go. We got our coffee. It's all ready to go now. Oops, let's tilt it down a little bit more so you can see. And I put the water in this Zujirushi thermal, which is it's called the Ultra Slim or Tough Slim. Really wonderful holding device. I mean, I do it just before the show. I fill it with water, boiling water, and it works pretty darn well. I think this may be the choice of brewing from now on. Why even bother with anything else if this is what you can get out of it, right? So how was your guys' week? Anything interesting happen? My week, you know what it is? This week, today I'm exhausted. I feel exhausted. My eyelids feel heavy. I just feel achy. I'm just like, man, am I ill? Has the air conditioning been running too high? My air conditioning is booming. It's just I'm freezing. And you know what? A year ago, I never would get that cold. When I was fatter, I was always kind of warm. Now I'm freezing. At the theater, I'm freezing. I'm walking around the mall after and I'm freezing. I'm man, I had to go outside and just stand outside in the heat just to feel better. I was like, good Lord, man, this losing weight thing really sucks. You probably never heard people complain about losing weight, especially in our physique-oriented society. But I'm like, man, this is not what I signed up for. I signed up for sexiness, not for frigidity. We'll have to see. Oh, there's some comments. Sorry, I need to get my glasses. I can't see anymore. Everything is bad. Everything is bad in my world. I can't read. I'm tired. I can't read worse. Okay, let's see. And plus, this is bent down, so I have to Craig says younger ones are a bit too much in generation for me. I understand. I understand. No hating on that. Like if it's not your jam, it's not your jam. But the girls get mad. The girls always get mad. They're like, why are you dating a girl that young? Well, because we get along, right? Craig says I have a robin nesting above my front door, so I'm stuck using the garage to get in and then the wonderful perils of having a brand new house. Like, I'm not yucking on their yum. If they want to have older guys and older girls, that's fine. If they feel like they can't get sexy young anymore, that's okay too. I've always thought that you should probably shoot for above your weight class, or maybe in my case, under my weight class, right? So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All right, here we go. We're still rolling with this. Now, earlier today, this coffee gave us nice notes of dates. It's really a pretty coffee. Despite it being a few years old, it actually was kind of nice and clean, sweet, surprising. So I'm hoping that by changing the grind to something just a hair coarser or hair finer will not impact the flavor too much, but just give us more extraction, better extraction. So I did bring my dates along just in case it tastes like dates, and we're going to have that to go with it. I don't have any other accoutrement as far as, consumables other than the cigar. Like if I take off my glasses right now, everything is still fuzzy. Everything's fuzzy because I think I'm just fatigued. And Craig says he's having the Partagas 898. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. An old 15-year 898. This one is not 15 years. This is, I guess this is 15. This is 16 years, this cigar. Made 16 years ago, 2009. So we're kind of head to head here. Head to head. So this week I was at, on Wednesday, I decided I was going to go to this event. There's a hardware store called Paul B. Hardware about an hour and 20 minutes from here in a place called Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Massive, like, hardware store. So they had a big, like, customer appreciation day with vendors and all this giveaways. And I was like, I'm going to go check it out. So I went there, got to see Brian, the rep from SawStop, met AJ from DeWalt, kind of chat a little bit with Milwaukee guys, but I'm not a Milwaukee user. My brother's a Milwaukee user. It's his birthday, by the way, today. Happy birthday, Al. Happy birthday. And he, Milwaukee's fine. I just never used there. I have one router. One of my router in my router table is a Milwaukee. So I do have Milwaukee. So no hate towards Milwaukee. Okay, so we got our brew. It's all done now. 300 grams. And we're going to put this over here. Let's let that drip into my cup. And let's have a taste of the coffee. See how it compares to this morning. Oh, I probably should have left it at that other setting. It's a little bit more extracted, a little more, the bitter is a little more pronounced, a little more chewy. Yeah, that was, it's not bad. It's fine. Like, you still get a little bit of the date notes. Let's see if I have the dates with it to see how it plays. Deglet Noor dates from Algeria. Via Costco, maybe. Costco. What I love about dates is that I never really have to worry about them going bad. I don't think they ever go bad. Oh, yeah, that's nice. God, these Middle Easterners, man, when they had this idea of dates with coffee, they really were on the money. Even though this coffee does not have the pronounced date notes in the coffee as it did this morning, together still lovely. One more date. Oh, I had bad news today. So for the last 15 years, I've been going to this restaurant. I haven't gone there in maybe a year. I haven't gone there in a year. I will confirm that today. But I was down in Odenton, so I was like, I'm gonna go eat at this place. It's a place called Grace Garden. And if you know me and have dined with me in Maryland, over the last 15 years, you probably have heard me talk about it. You've probably been with me to eat at it. I think it's one of the greatest Chinese restaurants in the area. Traditional old school Chinese food like Latzi Chi chicken and like just amazing stuff. So for many, many years, it was this rundown Chinese carryout. You know, typical General Cho's, chop suey, all that kind of stuff, right? You know, Panda Express kind of level or whatever. And then there was this guy, this chef for Hunan Manor, which was this nice Chinese restaurant in Columbia, Maryland. He left that place and decided to start his own thing. So him and his wife bought Grace Garden and started cooking there and decided they were going to offer the secret menu of Chinese dishes for Chinese people. And then they started serving it to everyone. So this whole generation of people got to eat like hardcore Chinese food, right? Like hardcore, like man, and this stuff was awesome. Like it was so unbelievably good. It was a rage for many, many years. And then maybe like 6, 7 years ago, they decided to retire and sell, and they sold to a couple who maybe had a little bit of a rough start, but they kind of kept the menu and kept it up. And actually, it turned out that it was pretty good. So I still went there. I went there today. I'm all like, I'm going to get me some Latzi Chi chicken. Excellent. I walk in, I tell the guy, Chinese guy, older, I was like, hey, can I have the Latzi Chi chicken? He's like, what's that? I was like, the Szechuan chicken? Oh, we don't, I don't know about that. And I'm thinking, what do you mean you don't know about it? This is one of your central dishes. Like, you don't know about it? And he's a little bit indignant about it. And I guess he must be indignant because, you know, turns out he's probably owned the place for over a year now, because I think he bought the place a year ago, last summer, from the reviews that I saw on Google. And he's a little bit taken aback, and I was like, "Oh, and I'm trying to explain to him what the dry chicken, the Szechuan dry chicken. No, we don't have that. I said, it's on the other menu. He said, we don't have that anymore. You don't have the other menu? And I'm thinking, what the? I mean, you don't have the other menu. The reason that I come here is for that menu. I'm not coming here for General Cho's. Are you crazy? I can get General Cho's where I live. I drove an hour to get here. And I wasn't that upset. I mean, I was kind of upset. I was kind of that upset, but I wasn't expressing that. I was just kind of like, really? He's like, yeah. I said, you know, we have. I said, well, it's always been. He said, well, there's new ownership. And I was like, new ownership? And that's not available? No. He said, no. He didn't even say, I'm sorry, it's not available, but he was just no. And I was like, well, that's disappointing. Thank you. And I left. And I walked right. There was a whole table of people there watching me. And I was like, kind of like, well, you don't have. I didn't certainly drive all this way to go have Panda Express. Like, I'm out of here, man. I'm kind of mad, but like, so I wrote a review on Google. You can look at it. Grace Garden in Odenton, Maryland. You can read it. There's actually screen captures of it on my Instagram. Mainly, and I'm not, because I'm not trying to bash on them. Like, you buy your own business. You operate however you want. But I've been telling people for the last 15 years to go eat at this place. Like, this is some of the greatest Chinese food in Maryland. One of my really close friends who lives in Canada, his mom lives in Elton, had sent me a message last week, and he's like, hey, what are the best places for Chinese? My mom wants to go out. And I gave him a list of places, and I said, oh, this, and Grace Garden was one of them. So I messaged him also. I was like, dude, I know I said this to you last week, but evidently new owners have not carried on with the menu. So I'm taking that off my list. So it is a do not recommend a visit. Like, if you're in that area, you're desperate for Chinese food, and you're going to have, like, you know, orange chicken or something like that, fine. You'll be fine. It's going to be fine. But if you see the reviews from old school and you're like, oh man, that seems like awesome Chinese food, I'm going to go there, you will be disappointed. You'll be like, what is? And he even kept all of the reviews, all the accolades on the wall, like all the articles from like the food. And it's like, well, you don't even offer that food anymore. So I went to Popeyes and had the honey lemon pepper wings, which is a great selection. I really like those. What's up, Brian? How are you, man? Good to see you. All right, that's enough ranting. I don't know if you heard that ranting, Brian, but Grace Garden is no good anymore. Remove Grace Garden from your list of places to eat. It is no longer worthy. How do they say that in John Wick? It has been stricken from the register. All right, let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. I'm looking here at the, what do we have? This is a pre-release. No, I don't want that one. I want a pre-release. Okay, let's go over this. We have the Tatuaje L'Esprit de Verite 2009. I bought this on the 22nd of October 2011 from Tobacco Leaf in Jessup from Raul. And these are total production of 20,000 cigars, 1,500 boxes of 10 and 200 boxes of 25. This is a 25 count box. And I was looking for something to smoke last night, and I was like, and I pulled this open, and I was like, oh, this is the Robusto. This is my last one. And I was like, oh, my last one. And I was going to smoke it last night, and then I decided that I wasn't going to smoke because this is kind of hot. And I was like, And I thought, okay, today, I'll smoke it now. The 2009, we're going to have, this way we get to commemorate this special cigar. So like I said, the idea behind this was that it's been aged 2 years in reposado, waiting, like in a escaparate, to age, to mellow, mature, and all that, like you do with like Burgundies. So Burgundies and Bordeaux's, or Bordeaux's for sure, Cabernets in California, they will let them rest in the barrels for like 2 years to get all the characteristics, right? And so that's kind of what they're doing here. And let me look at the notes here from Half Wheel. I got a message here, not a message, but I've got a thing from Half Wheel. Brian says, dang it, I should have stopped by. You have two. The last one. No, I only have one. Do I have two? Yeah, there's no more. Sorry. I mean, if I had one extra, I would totally give you one. I would hate for you to come and be disappointed, and then I have to offer you something lesser. So the unique price, so according to Half Wheel, when was this article written? In a May 4th, 2011 article, they say the unique pricing for these cigars, like in the wine industry, is based on the idea that people get a bigger discount on the actual cigars the earlier they purchase them. For the 2009 vintage, futures pricing of the La Verite Churchill and Robusto are being offered at 3 different tiers depending on when they are purchased. After the La Verite actually ships to the stores, full retail pricing of $25 for La Verite and $20 for L'Esprit de Verite. Oh, I guess the La Verite is Esprit de Verite. The Spirit of Verite is the smaller one. Will be more expensive, essentially, right? $20, $25 for the Churchill, $20 for the Robusto. And also note that the retailers have to charge you in full before the cigars are sent in order to take advantage of the futures pricing. The cigars are sent out to be sent in the late of June 2011, and I did not buy this one until October 2011. Sometimes I'll put the date on them here, October 22nd. So I guess I paid the full price of $20 per stick times, wow, did I pay $400? That's ridiculous. $500 for this box? I did not. I don't think I did. I don't know if I'd buy it if it was that much. Brian says, I was typing when you said I just have one left, but I assume because you had the whole box that you had. Gotcha. I wish I did. I've been slowly smoking these since 2011 for the last 14 years. So this was the second year release. The difference between the 2008 release is that the 2008 Pete used tobacco from only one variety of tobacco. Used only one variety of tobacco, Habano Criollo, while the 2009 version blends 3 different varietals from the same farm and year. So we're still with the same farm and year, including Pelota de Oro, which was also used in the My Father LE 2010 and My Father LE 2011. As with the 2008 release, the 2009 crop features 2 different vitolas, a Robusto and a Churchill, each comprised of different amounts of these different types of tobaccos from the same farm. And they actually disclose all this, which is actually surprising and refreshing. And cigar companies should really just do this more. I mean, it's not giving away anything, really. And the geeky people in cigars will be happy for it because they can sit around talking about the percentages of tobacco and how that has an impact on waxing poetic ad nauseum at the cigar shop until you just want to kill them. So let's read the Verite. Has a 55% Habano Criollo wrapper, 35% Criollo 98, 10% Pelo de Oro, or maybe that's the blends. And then the Verite, the bigger one, has 50% Criollo, which is 5% less, 35% Criollo 98, same as the other one, and 15% Pelo de Oro, which is a little bit more than this. What else is there to know? Factory made, of course, my father's cigar. From the La Estrella, the Star Farm, Finca La Estrella, and all from one farm. Produced in 2009, released in 2011. $25. What else did they have to say about this that we need to know? So interesting, but I don't think he's carried on this tradition past maybe 2013 was the last one that I recall seeing. I don't know. You guys have any older ones or like after or post 2009? Let me know what you have and what you've smoked. We're going to try this now and see how it goes. So $25 stick, the same price and expensive bottle. Well, this one is actually 20. It's the smaller one. 25 was for the Churchill. And that was $20 and $25 in 2011, not in 2025. So it's a little bit going to be more expensive today, probably $30 today if it was being released. But we've got now 2 years of age in their Escaparate, 14 years of age almost in my humidor. So we're going to check it out and see how it smokes. Let me get my glasses on here. Let's see how our wrapper is. It looks a little bit on the brown side. A little bit tight in there, but not too tight to get out. Like, you know, sometimes you get the wrappers or the cello. Look at that. It is yellow, baby, yellow. It's been in there a long time. Amazing. All right, so here's the cigar. 2009 Tatuaje. Nice banding, very special. I gotta hide myself because it won't focus. If it sees my eyes, it doesn't want to focus. But the wrapper looks pretty good. It's got a clean, like a tetra, like a light tetra fish food aroma to it. Oh, I need like accoutrements. All right. Oh, and I need more accoutrement. Okay, God. I am really tired. Like, I'm exhausted. Dev, how are you, man? Dev says, I have a Tatuaje Coho New 2003, saving that one for a special occasion. You know what, man? Smoke that stuff. Don't hold on to it. Smoke it now. I mean, they still release those, so it's not like you have to hold on to it. And Marvin always has Tatuaje, so you don't have to worry about, like, trying to get some. So, yeah, smoke it. Enjoy it. Don't hold on to it too long. Like, I don't know why I'm holding on to this. Like, why did I hold on to this for so long? Like, I should not be holding on to it. That's what I was thinking last night. I was like, I'm just going to get rid of it. Why am I holding on to it? Plus, it's the last one. And it's still in a box, so it's taking up all this space in my humidor. Why am I doing that? I don't know. Sickness. That's what it is. Sickness. It's a sickness. So smoke it, enjoy it. It's real. That's what it's meant to be for, right? Like I said, especially the Kohunu 2003, they're always going to be around. They're part of their core line, so you don't really have to worry about it. That was the first cigar I smoked from Pete, from Marvin. Marvin gave me one of those cigars back in 2004. He was like, try this. It's a new cigar that I just brought in. It's called Tatuaje. And I was like, oh my God, this is like amazing. Oh, let's look at the color. The color, kind of nice color. Cold draw is nice, but the cold draw is a little bit like benign. Like I'm not getting a lot of like characteristics. I mean, it is a 14, 15, 16-year-old cigar. So fragrance is nice, kind of medium plus. I'm going to say 775. So very good plus for the fragrance and cold draw. You might be noticing my finger, wondering what happened to your finger. It's because I spilled some indigo dye on it a few days ago, and I was had to clean it up, and like that's got under the nail beds. So there's a bit of spiciness to it still. There's a good pronunciation on the light. Like sometimes you wonder, like, will a used or old cigar, aged cigar, will it be mellow when you start it? But right now, those first couple puffs, very reserved, complex. Like, I smoke a lot of Roma Crafts, right? So Roma Crafts very like pronounced, very like forward, very in your face kind of smokes. This is starting off very elegant. Like I'm liking it. I'm liking it. It doesn't have that robustness of flavor that Romas have, but it's got a very beautiful flavor. A nice complexity. So what are you guys smoking? I know that Craig's smoking the Partagas 858 Cuban Habano, probably from about this same era. How about everybody else? What are you guys smoking? I smoked this week a lot of Romas, mostly the La Maestranza, Castillo to Murcia. I still got a half a box left of that, which I'm decidedly going through it kind of fast. I probably need to slow down. Man, it is hot today. I don't know if it's hot. And I don't know where the smoke is going, but this fan is on. It's supposed to be going that way. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, I just need to adjust the crossband. Maybe that'll help. Andrew's here. Grab my usual cowboy guan. God. Oh man, this getting old sucks. So like I said, this afternoon I need to burn some time between appointments. So I decided to watch a movie, go see Ballerina with Ana de Armas. And actually it was really good. If you like the John Wick world, I think you will enjoy it. It's very John Wicky in that respect. A lot of like, Lance, what's his name? Lance makes an appearance. So that was really nice. Well, Tony was us. What's going on, Tony, man? How are you doing? Good to see you. Let us. We know you're having the Diet Cherry Pepsi. What are you smoking tonight? All right. So we're starting off with this L'Esprit de Verite. Very nice. This is episode 244. Right. So what else been happening? Anything been happening interesting? So I've been working, you know, I've been making furniture lately, and I have this idea. I have this problem where I'm having difficulty making these joints fit together without them like getting a little bit loose while it's during assembly because I can't get enough clamping pressure on it. So I've been trying to find different resolutions to that. And recently I heard about something where the people for centuries have been putting nails into their furniture in order to be fasteners. And I was fascinated by this. Dev says, "Do you have a cheap cigar that you like?" I mean, no, no, no. Life is too good. Life is too short for cheap cigars. What have we smoked recently? Okay, let's see here. We've smoked something recently that I thought was fairly good. Brick House, the underrated, the Buffalo 10. This was pretty good. Buffalo 10, Buffalo 10. I thought that was pretty good. We gave it 82 points, but this very nice $6 a cigar, that was actually quite enjoyable, surprising. And that we did that back on episode 241, the 5th of June. You can go back and look at that. That was pretty good. Mecanudo, not bad. This was, we got 75, not great. But what else did we have here? I would say those. That's probably the best one. A lot of people really like these. If you're looking for affordable smokes, the guys from what is it called? Mom knows. Those are nice. I mean, they have, you know, relatively inexpensive, nice enough cigars for, you know, if you just want to spend your time smoking. Um, You could call Dan Miyahira at Honolulu Cigar. If you haven't met Dan, just look him up. Honolulu Cigar. Call him up. Tell Dan that I told you to call him, and be like, "Hey man, what cheap cigars do you have?" And he'll probably have something that can work. Craig says the Padron 2000. Padron 2000s are always a very nice choice. Any of those 1000 series of Padron, I suggest. You know, they're all fine, but I would suggest going with the what do you call it, the Maduro versions. I think they have a little bit more oomph. Mom says the Sanjas. Yeah. So there's this guy in New Jersey, Sanjas. He kind of has this box that looks like a Cohiba colors with the yellow and the black and white checks. We've had it on the show. What is it called? Maybe I can find it in my notes here somewhere. You know, he makes a few cigars that are really and actually very enjoyable. I've had a couple of them that I thought were really good. Unfortunately, the ones that I had, he didn't have any bands on them, so I have no idea what we were smoking. And I was like, that's really good, but I can't recall what that was. And I was like, oh man, how am I supposed to order more if I don't know what it is? Maybe it's not in this stack of. Yeah, it's probably not here. It's probably. I think that was probably a year ago. But if you look it up, Sanj Patel, Sanj Patel, he's in New Jersey, and really, you know, really interesting guy. Nice spot to go and have a smoke. And if you're ever on the mainland, I don't know if you want to be. Actually, it was Rusty and Mom that told me about him. So I went there last summer after hanging out with them during our anniversary live stream up in New Jersey. And I went down there the next day and it was wonderful. Tony says he's having the Herrera Esteli Brazilian Maduro Toro, and yes, the Zero Cherry Vanilla Pepsi. Nice. I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed. Other ones that are probably good, like if you go to, I always think it's important to try to support local shops. I like supporting local shops because, you know, it's like you get to know people. And it's never going to be the cheapest, right? Because, local shops always have like expenses that online retailers don't have. But you get to have a relationship with people. And that to me is the more important aspect of it. Other cigars you might want to consider is the Arturo Fuente Green line, if you haven't tried that, the regular Arturo Fuente line. So Cigar, they have it over there on Veritania, on the other side of Veritania from where you are. Yeah, just go. I mean, what I did, okay, so years ago when I first started smoking cigars, there was a place on Cona Street, right behind Ala Shopping Center. And it was called Don Pablo Cigar Shop or Don Pablo Tobacco. And I went there. I just had an interest in cigars, so I started going there, and I started going there every day, and met a whole like world of friends, like really people that are still great friends to this very day. But what I was doing then is I would just go every time I went and just go down the humidor, just this cigar today, tomorrow, another cigar, the third day, the cigar next to it, and just work my way through it, trying different cigars until I had a feel for what I liked. And that's really I think that's one of the best and most cost-effective ways to get a really good grounding in any field is to go out and taste as much as you can. It's just like with coffee, right? If you go to different coffee shops, try whatever coffees they have and see what you like, see what you don't like, right? Hopefully you run along the way, you run into people that will help give you better guidance. Like my brother's going to Asia with his family in a couple weeks. And so I was like, hey man, I've been thinking about woodworking chisels and woodworking hand planes from Japan. And I'm like, I would like to get a hand plane and I would like to get a chisel. One chisel is fine. But I'm like, I don't know what to buy. Like, what should I buy? Like, what size, what style, what kind of steel, what kind of handle, what shape, all these variations. You're like, and if you never really did it or you don't really know what you're doing, it's very daunting. You're like, like I bought this set of cheap chisels a couple weeks ago when I was in Philadelphia. Miaoshan chisels, set of 4 from China. Miaoshan, $10, which turns out is still more expensive than Harbor Freight. I was like, what? Harbor Freight? And by all accounts, these are cheap, trashy chisels. Like nobody likes these. But I'm like, you know what, man? I'm just gonna try them and work with them and see what I like. How bad could it be, right? I mean, I don't know the difference, so I'll learn how bad they are by using them. But I've been trying to figure out like what chisel should I buy? What hand plane should I buy? And I've been looking all over YouTube trying to find guys to like explain what's the first place to start. Where do you start? Nobody has made a video about that. And I'm like, why is this possible? They all have videos about how to set up your chisel. After you buy your chisel, how do you set it up and get it ready to work? I don't want to know that. I want to know which chisel I should be buying. And that's my predicament. So yesterday, or the day before, maybe the day before, I was listening to a podcast. The Fine Woodworking magazine has a podcast called Shop Talk Live. And they had this dude who is he's kind of like a guru. I wouldn't say he's an expert, but he's a guru of Japanese tools. Guy by the name of Wilbur Pan. And it's funny because Wilbur's talking about things, and he's like, you know what? He's Asian, but he's not Chinese. He's not Japanese. I'm not Japanese. Like I'm not Japanese. He's like, I'm Chinese, but I grew up in America. I'm an American. Like I don't know anything about Japan. I've only been there once when I was a child, and that was just for a fly through. And I was like, oh, this guy's just totally learned everything here. Craig says, buy used. Yeah, but the thing is, like, some other guys have said that. The problem is, you can buy, buying used there's nothing wrong with that. And I buy a lot of used. Like, if I'm buying Festool and I can find a good deal on used, I'm going to buy the used. Like this drill. This TXS drill, I got this with batteries and a charger for $85. I was like, what? Crazy. Right? Now, but the thing is, I know about this. And then, like, I got a sander the other week, $75. $275 sander for $75 used. Great. But I already know the sander, right? But if I don't know about it, how am I supposed to know what to buy? Like, if I'm looking at all these brands, how do I know, right? So I was like, But Wilbur said something that was kind of funny that I thought I kind of resonated with me because he was like, you know, he talked about like something that I've mentioned in the past, both on this, probably this live stream and definitely on the morning stream, where when you get into a craft, you get so into it that you become dangerous, that you learn just a modicum of information enough to make you dangerous, that you're suddenly spouting mantra as gospel. Like you're like, this is how it should be, right? And he was kind of like, all these people get into the Japanese woodworking and they're looking at the Zen philosophy and all this kind of stuff. And he's just like, I never got into that. He's like, I grew up in an Asian household. We grew up with Eastern philosophy. That was part of who we were. It's not like it wasn't new. It was just kind of like, yeah, it's there. So what? Right. And I kind of thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, interesting. Because I don't look at a lot of these Japanese things that I'm involved with as like, I see them for their craft, but I don't see them as like some kind of necessarily a Zen, some kind of philosophical pursuit. Maybe because I've seen a lot of the craftsmen that I've observed, especially in coffee, while they're working at a very high level, they're still working. They're still trying to make a living. They're still trying to like make a dollar to pay their rent, feed their families. Craig says that Lee Valley has set two. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. But I kind of want the Japanese thing, right? I don't know if you mean that Lee Valley has sets of Japanese tools, and I don't really want a set. I just want one, right? One to start with and figure out what I want. And I think I'm going to go with the 12 millimeter, this one, because on my other set of Craftsman old school, like harder chisels, the ones that you get from like the Sears years ago, I have those, and I've really used the 1/2 inch more than anything else. So 12 millimeter is probably where I'm going to start with. So, but this guy Wilbur was talking about strategies, and he was like, what do you buy? And he's like, well, all these people go through all this trouble trying to understand and figure it out. Why don't you just rely upon the master, right? So I found this place called Inoue Hamono, and Hamono, I believe, means in Japanese like tool shop. So Inoue is the guy's name. Inoue Hamono. Inoue is tool shop. And he sells all of these handmade tools. Beautiful. And Wilbur Penn was like, what you really need to do is go there, talk to the guy, the master, and say, this is what the work that I do. This is the work that I want to do. Maybe show him examples and let him guide you. You don't have to worry about whether it's white steel, yellow steel, blue steel, all that. He will guide you because he wants you to do well and come back and buy more at some point in the future. And I was like, that is like the most practical news that I've heard yet. And I don't want to buy a set, right? I just want to buy one or two and build a set slowly as I need it, right? And if I really need to go to wider, like a 3/4 of an inch, I got these cheap ones to like hack away at it, right? So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to tell my brother, be like, hey, man, I need you to go to Inoue Hamono, go talk to Inoue-san and be like, hey, here's some pictures of what my brother's doing. He would like to get he would like to get his first smoothing plane and a chisel. What do you recommend? And then whatever he recommends, and this is the price point, whatever he recommends, I'll just buy it. I don't need anyone to like figure it out. I'll work on it. At least that's my plan. That's my plan. Craig says, as Lee Valley has sets at various price points. I hear you. And Lee Valley, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it sound like I'm poo-pooing on Lee Valley. Lee Valley and their Veritas, very highly regarded. Like people love it. And I think they're beautiful tools. But I got to say one thing about Veritas, right? Like in the world of like planes, hand planes, like I've been thinking, like I met this guy, Bob Van Dyke. He's like one of the masters of, woodworking in the world. And I was like, we were talking, he's like, my favorite plane is a 45-degree. It's a number 4 with a 45-degree bevel, low angle, smooth, and number 4. And I was like, low angle number 4, 45-degree bevel. Now I've got pretty much I've got like 4, 5, 6, 7s here. So I've got a whole spread of hand planes, and I bought for very cheap. Like you go out of the market, you find them cheap and just clean them up. It's really amazing. And since I'm not a collector, and I don't want to be a collector, like I'm very decidedly trying to not be a collector and just buy what I need to use. But I'm thinking that idea of a low angle number 4 45-degree bevel plane is what I need also. But if you look at Veritas, which is a very nice tool, and then you look at the Lee Nielsen, which is the very nicest of tools, the price between the two is very, it's like you're reaching that stratosphere. It's like you reach a certain level and it's like, there's a difference, but it's like, it's not tremendous. It's like maybe another 75, $100 difference. It's not like going from Festool to Mafel. Like that's like, very big difference. Like you can buy the Festool Try-On Jigsaw for $315, but if you want to get the Mafel P1cc, it's $750. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Mafel is where Festool people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy there, German guy. So with Veritas, I don't have anything against Veritas. Don't get me wrong, and I don't know enough to have anything against them. But I just was thinking about the quality. I'm sure is commensurate. But Lee Nielsen, it's like Lee Nielsen is like it's like you buy, if you're like a Ferrari guy and you buy Lamborghini, yeah, the Lamborghini is awesome, like no doubt, it's amazing. But you still kind of want the Ferrari. You're like I was talking to the Festool rep yesterday, and there's two types of miter saws that Festool makes, right? There's the KS120, which is a 120 millimeter cut, deep cut, like a 10-inch almost blade. And then there's the KSC60, which is a smaller blade. Both are very capable, very precise machines. Like, unlikely you will be upset by having either. And I don't really have a particular need for a miter. So I've got this 10-inch Ryobi that does more than I could ever want, and I don't even use it. So it's like totally not on my radar to buy. Well, it's not necessarily on my radar to buy one, right? Or to get one. But, Phil, the Festool rep, was like, the other day, he's like, dude, they're selling this for like $1,700, the KS60 with the vac and the stand. And I was like, what? Man, that's a great deal. And as much as that'd be cool, I was thinking, you know what? I still want the 120. Like even if I had the 60, I would still be sitting around, wish I bought the 120. Like it just won't be happy until like you have what you want, regardless of whether it makes any kind of logical sense. George is with us. Good evening, all from Circle of Life in Tampa Cigar Cup. Oh, you're having a Circle of Life from Tampa Cigar on your porch. I thought you might have been in Tampa since it is summertime. What's going on, George? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Craig says that Veritas annual sale in Ottawa, good deals. I'm gonna have. Do they have that on their website? I'll have to look. I don't really need tools. I mean, I just want to try these. Like I'm not doing anything really, as far as like serious chiseling. Like, what did I do the other day? I'm working on this table, on this chair, right? Like the only thing that I've done so far really is just kind of cleaning these edges up with the chisel. Just this, like here, right? Just a little bit there. Nothing too demanding by any measure, by any stretch. Gosh, I think I have to keep these glasses on in order for me to see for the rest of the show. It's really terrible. Craig says, I have Stanley planes pre-war plus Japanese pre-war planes pre-war. Oh, nice. That's nice stuff there. That's nice stuff. I think my planes are pretty old. I don't know much about planes. Like I said, I'm just getting them because I want to. Like I bought a whole bunch of planes all together for like $20, and this edge profile plane came with it. I didn't even understand what it was or how to use it till just last week, and I saw a video and I was like, oh, this puts a profile on an edge. All right, that's cool. My most recent purchase is this number 7 Bailey, Stanley Bailey. It looks pretty old. I don't know how old it is. I've kind of used it a little bit. Actually, for most things, I think 7 is too long. This is one that I restored, number 6. You can see probably someone dropped it and repaired it here on both sides. But it works true. I mean, it's very Worked great. And I don't need pretty planes. I just need planes to work. Probably this is my nicest one. Like this one I got at an auction. And you'd think auction are like, oh, huge money. But this was like $25 at the auction. But in really great shape. Whoever restored it did a great job. It looks very nice. Very nice. But I don't know too much. I've just started to use them more, trying to get a better feel for it and how to use it. I asked my Sawyer the other last week. I was like, "Hey, can I take some of those like discards that you have like in that the burn pile outside, just to practice my planing?" He's like, "Yeah, man, take as much as you want." I said, "Cool." Craig says, "In person only. People make a vacation day." Oh wow, line up in the parking lot. I don't think I want to line up in the parking lot for anything anymore. Like when I was young, okay, line up in the parking lot sounds like a good idea. Nowadays, no more lighting up. No more light. Okay, let's look. We're probably through the first third by now. Babbling on. I'm going to say it's very good plus. 8.5 for the flavor. Body wise, so more medium. It's not very heavy, but very nice quality. 8.5 as well. Wonder how far to drive that is. You know what I'd really like to do at some point? I want to go to Ticonderoga to visit the Star Trek Enterprise thing, a Lee Valley Tools in Ottawa, Howard Avenue. Good Lord, that's far. Wait, where's this? Lee Valley at the corporate offices? Is that that must be the one you're talking about? Corporate offices, not the one that's over by Michigan. You know what? 7 hours, 20 minutes. Oh no, that's not right. 8 hours and 4 minutes. Actually, that's further and not really much different as far as time than driving to Boston. And then how far from Toronto? 4 hours. Wow. Still far. God, it's a lot of driving. Maybe it's a flying kind of trip. Craig says they do the Verite second sale online now. Ooh, I will have to look at that. What? I'm looking at this event. So right now we're in the second third. We're coming through this period where it's a little bit dirty, that taste. Let's have the coffee. And getting back to cigars, the 898 is amazing. Oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. This one's kind of taking a strange turn. I'm going to take the band off, the lower band. Maybe I'll just let it float for a few more moments. And George says that the burn of the cigar, the Tampa, is not smoking is not very impressive. 2 touch-ups in the first 10 minutes. It's about to be tossed, and another. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, better to toss it now and then have to struggle through it and be disappointed. Oh, like I was saying before, we had our little tangent. Like I've been on this chair, that chair. Like one of the things is getting the mortises and tenons to lock fully. And I was thinking about putting screws into it. And I did a live stream where I was putting a screw into the base, into the legs, and I cracked the leg, and that was completely like totally a disaster. But I'd heard about these things called cut nails, and they were talking about this place called Tremont Nails in Massachusetts. And I called them up and I was like, hey, do you guys have any dealers here in Baltimore? I'm afraid we do not have any dealers. But while I was in, they've got a whole bunch of nails, all these old school nails, all cut nails, no wire nails, right? Most of the stuff we see now are wire nails. These are all cut. And what the cut does, it makes it more secure into the wood because of the way that it drives itself into the wood. Oh, and I just realized I better grab a battery because the computer just told me that it's dying, or the phone says it's getting low. I don't know what power bank batteries cost, but if you're looking for a power bank battery that's not terribly expensive, this Skill Power Core 12 for their drill setup, their 12-volt drills, is actually quite compelling this week. Here at Lowe's in Timonium, they have this with a cord and a 20-watt charger for $29. And I saw that and I was like, this would be a great power pack. And so I'm just going to plug this into the phone. And there it is. $30. And I don't know how much they cost, power packs cost, but $30. Well, what more can you ask for? So here's the thing. So this is Tremont Nails. I found a box of it at the Paul B. Hardware. I was looking around and oh my gosh, they had these. Now they have a whole bunch of styles of these type of cut nails. And unlike wire nails where they have this long wire and they're basically crimping it, chopping it, and then flattening it, these are cut from pieces of steel, like flat steel. They cut like that, and they give a wedge shape to them, much like masonry nails. And all these years, I never really understood masonry nails. Like why are they like that? Why not just use a regular nail when I use those nails? But as I was reading more about this, turns out like this is what they call their decorative wrought head in black oxide, 2 inches. Now this is probably a bit too long, but I bought a box just because I wanted to have it. I really think I need 1 inch, but I wanted to get this box just to play with it and see. Well, let me grab one. You can see this. It's kind of like a whole different style of nail. Like it's very rustic, right? And it's got this point. So my understanding of how this works is that as you drive the nail in, unlike the regular nail that kind of separates the fibers like this, it kind of pushes it aside and drives in and like cinches. This, as it's going in, actually will like kind of drive the fibers down. So damaging, instead of pushing them apart, it's damaging them, right? It's just kind of crushing them underneath so that it wedges itself in there. Like they say, these are very difficult. Once you put them in, they're very difficult to get out. They're very secure. And they've been using these for hundreds of years in all kinds of furniture and all kinds of building. And I was like, huh, fascinating. So this box, I don't know how much nails really cost in the regular world, but this box is $18. So it's kind of expensive. But I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. But this, maybe like this on the leg. Right, like I'm thinking that this is the leg. So this thing tends to tip like this. So I need to secure it down here. So I'm thinking that it can be driven like that. Well, that might be all right. 2 inches might be okay. It can be like that. But that's kind of my thoughts at the moment. I don't know if that's really how it's going to turn out. Maybe get I'm going to call them up and maybe get the smaller one, the 1 inch. It has a rose head that has a little more decorative, looks more like a rose on the top of the head instead of like this wrought look. I think that'll be a little bit prettier. So that bitterness that we had a few moments ago, it has subsided. Thank goodness that was not very pleasant. But yeah, man, I am really tired. Like I'm feeling exhausted. I need to sleep more. Yeah. It is the heat, says Craig. Yeah, I'm sure, man. It's so brutal, man. I've been out here in the garage all week and it's just been brutal. And then at night, the air conditioning is blasting, and I'm like, man, I'm freezing. Like I said, I used to be fatter, so I was always like kind of like comfy. Now I'm like freezing. It's terrible. Here it is. 2009, Tatuaje, l'esprit du verite. I think it's interesting as an expression of cigar making, single farm, single vintage. And I think probably like, I don't know if how long this continued for, but like vintage anything, every year is different. So every year is going to express itself differently. Now, one thing about this, well, and this is not necessarily not true of other products. I was going to hypothesize or postulate that, with all the processing that they do to tobacco, they can manipulate. But the same thing goes with like wine grapes or coffee. But sometimes it's just, the quality of the crop that year is so much more stellar than the others. Andrew says, pre-drill a hole slightly smaller than the nail so not to split the wood, especially how close to the edge, and narrow your pieces. So thank you. I will do that. I'll remember to do that. Like when on the other live stream on the Ono Tech channel, last week I was drilling it. I actually drilled that, right? I drilled it here. I did a pilot hole here. I drilled the screw into it, man, and it just broke apart into 3 pieces. I was like, what? But of course, on that particular one, this is walnut. That piece, I was using the thermal oak, which is extremely brittle. Like for furniture making, it's a terrible wood. Like exterior cladding, probably pretty good, but furniture, no. Actually, last week I did a project with my brother. My brother bought this like soaking tub, like for soaking, like a single person soaking for ice. You sit down there, you soak, and like you let your muscles be all like whatever. And he was like, I want to put on my deck, but the deck looks a little bit like worn. I want to get some, can you cut some wood for me? Like he wanted to get some 2x8s and cut them down and like lay them across his decks just to distribute the weight. And I was like, all right, let's work on that. We go to Home Depot, we pick out some 2x8 pine. And then he's like, yeah, you're just going to screw them together. Screw them together? What are you talking about, man? Look at this. It's janky. Look, you can't screw these together. It's not going to be pretty. We have to make it pretty. So I took the time to resurface all the boards, right? Cut, you know how they're like rounded, right? 2x4s are rounded, like all the construction lumber is rounded. And construction lumber is always kind of difficult, but here's a scrap. Here's one of the cutoffs. So these are all original 2x8s that we surfaced. So cut off, surface all four sides to make them square. Now you may notice that this board in the center is actually slightly thinner than the two. So after joining them all together and before actually finishing them, I had to plane them down. I just hand planed them all. So I got to do some hand planing workout to try out hand planing and get a better feel for it. But this side is perfectly smooth, right? But you make it look nice, and it looks kind of nice. It looks Japanese. And then my brother was like, I want to do the yakisugi thing, or what you call shosugibai, right? Which is the burning of the wood, kind of like the thermal oak. And we've talked about this process on the show, or here on this before. But a lot of people call it shosugibai, where they're burning wood to create a resistive exterior. Steven's with us. What's going on, Steven, man? How are you? Good to see you. How are things in Phoenix? How's your temperature, man? Is it crazy up there? Brian says, Steven's asking the J. George if this is the special cigar that was smoked show. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. And Brian's having the La Flor Dominicana Maduro Cabinet number 5. Ooh, nice. That's a nice cigar. There you go, Dev. That's a great cigar. La Flor Dominicana Maduro Cabinet number 5. It's not probably the cheapest cigar, but definitely worth a smoke. Definitely worth a smoke. But it's called yakisugi, and because people call it shosugibai. I forgot what shosugibai means, but it's actually the incorrect term if you talk to Japanese people. This is an example of yakisugi. And so as you can see, the wood is charred from fire. Like I lit this on fire, and I did like sand off or scrape off or whatever, ground off a lot of it. But what this does, it creates a weather-resistant layer. So what these guys will do, they'll burn the wood, the cedar. This is actually cedar. They burn the wood, and once they burn it, they cool it down. They douse it with water, and then they put it on the wall of their house, the exterior of the wall, and they nail it into place. And what this does, it provides a weather-resistant layer that is weather-resistant, it is insect-resistant, and it is fire-resistant. Of all things, you burn this, and it becomes fire-resistant. So it's really quite interesting. But as you can see, it's got this crocodile skin because, this is the bottom. You burn it like this. Right? And you put them into threes, so they're like these big long triangles, and then you shove paper in them and you light it, and it gets. I only did it once, and just to try to see about it. Man, I don't know what I'm doing, but it was interesting, and so my brother was like, "I want to do that." However, yakisugi means roasted. Yaki, roasted. That's why you say yakitori or yaki whatever. You're roasting stuff. Like yakitori is roasted chicken on a stick, right? Yakitori. But yakisugi, sugi is the term for cedar in Japanese. So yakisugi. But if you're using pine, it's actually yakimatsu. I told him we're making yakimatsu, not yakisugi. Now, if you're doing oak, I'm sure there's a word for it, but I would just call it yucky oak until I Google translated it. George says, update on Circle of Life. Burn has improved. Excellent. Upon initial lighting, I thought Oscar the Grouch rolled this particular cigar. My apologies, Oscar. I was... Yes, don't besmirch Oscar. Poor Oscar. So he took I have this big torch, right? For those torches, those big propane torches that people use for like killing dandelions and weeds. I have one of those. I said, just because he was going to use one of my like propane, like, plumbing torches. I was like, dude, you could use that, but good God, man, it would take all day. So got this out and just, cleaned it, burned it nice and even. Looks really nice. And he installed it. Man, looks good. Looks really good. Looks really good. That's like the only thing I've ever made that's actually somewhere else than in my house. Oh no, see, though it's burning weird on the inside like that. After I knocked off that cherry, it's burning in the center. So I'm going to hit the edge. It's a little bit bright. Like the flavor on that last puff was a bit bright. All right, there we go. Hopefully that'll be better. Let's see how our coffee is doing with this. Man. Yeah, every time I bend over like that, man, my head hurts. I probably do need to drink more water and sleep more tonight. I'm going to sleep more tonight. And I thought I had a pretty deep sleep last night, but I was like, man, it's brutalized. I felt brutalized this morning. And then finally, I finally got back to working on my bandsaw restoration project. Had a bit of a trouble with the motor. I was trying to rewire the motor. You can see it here. Finally got the base finished. I cut it down because it was too tall. And the problem with this is that like a base, the way the base was, if by reinstalling it with casters to make it able to move around, once I reassembled the whole bandsaw, the table for the bandsaw would be like at 48 inches, 4 feet. It was like, that's just way too high. Most bandsaws are somewhere between 38 to 40 inches. And I was like, I had no choice to cut it down. So I cut it down, rebuilt it, took the motor out, rewired it all together, got new fresh wire because the wire was all trashed and old. I mean, the saw itself is like 100 years old. Now, hopefully, I'll have time tomorrow to actually start to actually put it back together. Hopefully. But who knows? Like this person I'm supposed to meet at 5 o'clock, completely no show and not even a message. That just kind of irritates me. Oh, well, what can you do? Can't get upset about things like that. Just got to move on. So what are you guys planning for the weekend? Anything interesting? I've got a birthday party on Saturday to attend. Actually, a birthday party on Saturday and Sunday. We're having something for my brother's birthday on Sunday. We're going out for that. And then I have another friend who has his birthday last weekend, having his dinner outing on Saturday. So lots of eating. Probably not a good thing. Evidently, we're going to someplace sparkling grapes or smashing grapes or something in Colombia. I've never been. I don't even know what time. Like they were supposed to. I'm sure they said, you know how you have friends, they have all these text messages, and they just text. You're like, God, I'm just not even paying attention anymore. Like I just, when I want to know the details, I just send a message and ask for clarification. What time again? Just like, oh, God, stop talking. Stop talking. The cigar is actually all right. Brightness, medium bodied, not terribly heavy, right? It's not the heavy cigar that I'm kind of used to smoking. It's just nice. Mm-hmm. Mm. I should be looking at the second third. And I think the second third is carried through about the same. Good plus. Brian says that Steve was asking if you were George, if the cigar that was smoked at the show. Oh, you mean like the previously? I believe so. Let me look. It should be in this, probably in this stack of score sheets here. I'm almost positive. I know I haven't updated the website. My apologies on that. I need to really sit down one day and actually just punch it all out. Okay, I think the closest that I have. Hmm. I don't recall anymore if we the let's work Dominican cabinet Maduro number 5. It is if we did, it is not, as far as I know, it's not in this stack of score sheets. The closest thing I have is this strange entry that says the 2006 vintage Aston VSG that you gave me, Brian. But for some reason, I have the LFD 30-year band on it. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the actual shows to see on the on the YouTube thing. Sorry, I don't have sadly, I don't have a definitive answer at the moment. Let's see, maybe it's on the, that might have been something I put up before I started keeping these. Okay, here we go. Oh no, the Love for Dominicana 30th anniversary. Mhm. Cabinet number 5. Now I'm actually looking on the website, La Flor Dominicana Solis. You know, it does not look like we have ever had that cigar here. The cabinet number 5. That might have been something we just, you know what it was? It's probably, I think the only time that I've had that was when we were at, or the time that I did have it most recently was when we were at Capitol during our event a couple months ago. And Mom was smoking it, and he was like, "This is a great cigar." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to try that then." And that's the only time that I've had it. It's a great cigar. You should definitely try it, Steve, if you can get it. But yeah, I don't have a review for it because it was something we didn't smoke as part of the show. But a few of us did smoke it at the gathering. Which, speaking of which, July 19th for sure. Venue still TBD, but keep the date open. All right. Cigar's getting a little bit smaller, but like maybe a little that last puff, maybe a little bit too fast on the puff. So maybe you need to slow down just a hair. How's everyone's cigars doing? Anything really great? George seems to have come back. Craig was enjoying his 858 Partagas. Tony, how's yours doing? Mom says, yes, wonderful cigar. I think I'm going to have one tonight. Nice, nice. See? See? Definitely get one, Steven. Definitely get one. Yeah, I think George is still recovering. Andrew, how is George doing? Have you talked to him this week? He stopped by briefly last week just to say that he had been recovering and he was doing well, so glad to hear it. Hope he's doing even better. Maybe I need some water. Maybe that's what I need. I probably have not drank enough water today. Lots of Diet Coke at the movies. You know the problem with getting older is that 2.5 hour movie, no problem. 3 hour drive, no problem. Now, man, I gotta pee. It's like, man, I'm not gonna leave the movie. I'm like, man. But when the movie's over, I gotta run. For a moment there, I thought I wasn't gonna make it because it was kind of far. Like the auditorium I was in was all the way to the back. I was like, man, I gotta go. So very citrus kind of notes on this, bright notes on this cigar right now. Andrew says that George's doing well, but upset though because his physical therapy coincides with your. Ah, that's all right. That's all right. We miss him. Tell him we miss him, but we're thinking about him. But he was always welcome. We look forward to having him back when he's recuperated. Recuperating is the most important thing. Tony says, you didn't have the sugars when you were younger. That causes you to want to pee a lot. I guess so. Well, I probably had more sugar, though, when I was younger, right? We ate more sugary stuff. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe I saw this like meme the other day that was talking about, for whatever reason, McDonald's French fries. Like we were, and the meme was something about we were fine eating McDonald's when we were young. These kids will be fine. It was like, well, back then, evidently the fries were just potatoes and beef tallow. Now it's all these like preservatives. I'm like, really? All those preservatives in frozen French fries? Is that true? Why? Is that so they can like withstand time temperature abuse more? Hmm. What else is there to tell you? I don't know. What else is there to share? Like what else been happening? Not too much else. Just still working on ideas. I got a chair that I've been working on. I don't know if I told you guys about this, but I'm working on this chair, a lounge chair that I'm thinking will be the cigar lounge chair. Let me show you. Let me show you. It's over here. It is. I've kind of had this in mind for a few months now, and I've been working on the basic form of it. So kind of mid-century-ish. I used a mid-century modern chair my friend had in Connecticut. I don't know if I showed you this last week, but that's the basic shape of it. So even though it's like 14 inches down here, the front lip will be 14 inches off the ground. There's actually going to be like another 3 inch or 4 inch cushion. That's what it's being designed for. So it'll be like 17 inches off the ground, which is kind of a nice height for legs. But I'm still working on the basic. I basically was trying to assemble it, trying to figure out how to put it together. Like, you see these things and they have it like fully assembled. You're like, how do they do that? I don't know. We'll just try to hack away at it. But yeah, man, I am tired. Like, I feel exhausted. Like, just kind of like, just need to sleep. My problem is that I can't sleep in the daytime, right? It's like I'm very light sensitive. So like once daylight starts coming and it's like 5:30 in the morning now, the daylight's here, and you're like, oh God, just interrupts my REM cycles. But still kind of nice. Very bright. It's very bright. But smoke is nice. The smoke production isn't copious. It's a tight smoke production, but pleasant. But I think that if that last puff was a little bit sharp, like the brightness turned a little bit sharp on the tongue. I think because I did too many puffs in a row, so it probably needs to have a slower pace at puffing. One thing I gotta say is that it is nice now. It feels cooler. Like the temperature has dropped. The fans that I have running in here are blowing on me. They've the temperature of the fan has definitely dropped like a few degrees. So it's like, okay, that's better. So how about you guys? Any projects you guys are working on this week or coming up? Any interesting happening? Anything that's going on? Anything working on? Or any new cigars that you tried that were really good? Like I haven't really tried anything new. I don't think. Like the newest stuff that I try has actually been on the show lately. So the last couple weeks, everything in between of the shows has just been Romacraft. Like last week's Brick House, Connecticut, and then the underrated, the Buffalo 10. Like, have we had anything that was really stellar this year? Let's look back here. 82.75 last week, 82.75, 87.5, 87.5, 87.75, 75.5, 85.5. So 87.75 is our highest so far. 76, 83, 75, 86, 75, 86, 85, 80.5. What is this one? Oh, here, 95, 95. Wow, 95. The Don Pepin Garcia 20th anniversary got 80, 95 points. Wow, that was stellar smoke. That was back in, when was that? Back in February. February. Well, pretty awesome. 85.25, so 95. Wow. 89, 88, 88.5. That's second highest so far. 81.5, 87.75. 85.75. This is 87. A lot of 80s, like high 80s. We got a lot of high 80s, which is good. I mean, that's a very good score, I think. I think it's very difficult. 85. It's very difficult, I think, to get into the 90s. And I think it should be difficult to get into the 90s. Here, 90s. Ooh, the Ferriotegu Suma, 96.5. Whoa. That just knocked it out of the park. 85.75. 83.75. 83.25. And finally, oh, we're still in this one. George says it's actually nice as the balcony for the it's actually nice on the balcony for the first time this week. Nice breeze developing. My project is golf game. Nice. Where do you go to play? And how is your game? How is your game? My game is never that good. Maybe I can shoot like 105, but I don't really play at all. I'm at very, very few times. Andrew says it's 83 at 9:37. Cool in comparison to the past few days, no doubt. But radar again shows rain is coming. I had all these cardboard boxes outside the garage today because I'm going to take them to the dump tomorrow. They got rained on, so they're all kind of soggy. At least I'm going to get rid of them tomorrow, so that's not too bad. All right. Now this last third, bright, smoking fine overall, but kind of boring actually. It's kind of like not too exciting, just kind of, it's there. It's good. It's very good, but it's not like, it's not like, So I'm a little bit disappointed now. At the end, I'm a little bit disappointed. I wish it had a little more oomph. Oomph, I guess. Oomph. More character. More something. More like. But I guess when it comes to, like if we're blending cigars that are single vintage, single from farms, maybe there's going to be a shortcoming somewhere along the way. Mom says, I've been smoking the new Amazon Basin size 4 and by 38. Oh, nice. How do you like those? Brian says, the recycle guys take soggy boxes from the front of my house now. Yeah, but there's so many of them. And here, we don't get recycling until Monday morning. So I'm like, I don't want to keep it till Monday morning. Just get rid of it. And, for me, it's not too far away. Mom says it's called the Dagger. Oh, nice. So you're enjoying those? I'll have to go look for them. I haven't been to a cigar shop in several weeks. I've really just been hiding out here, just hiding out, not doing anything. Kind of being a nomad, a hermit, not a nomad, but a hermit. Me and my wood. Like I do the live streams in the morning, roast some coffee, and then come to the wood shop. And generally get nothing accomplished. Like the other day, I was working on some stuff, just trying to get, like this bandsaw thing, just got nowhere. Failure. Dismal failure. Like there's in the motor, right? This motor is wired into this junction box. You can kind of see it in the right-hand corner of the doorway. There's a junction box. And what it is that the previous owner or someone, whoever installed the motor, installed it with this armored cable. And if you're familiar with armored cable is used for like running lines for your outlets. And armored cable and outlet wire, like Romex, is actually single-stranded wire, which is just one fixed solid strand of wire. And it's 12 gauge. And it was in good enough shape. Like I wasn't going to change it. And then as I was trying to connect it to the stranded wire, the cable that I was putting in, the plug cable, which is stranded, so it's like little strands that are wrapped together, twisted together. I'm trying to put it in this lock nut. Well, it's not going in very well for whatever reason. And it breaks. I was like, gosh, darn it. And there's only so much cable. Like there's not enough cable to pull more and like cut it down. And so I was like, I'm just done with this. Gave up on it. Next day, I came back out, pulled the motor back out, rewired it with this stranded cable, so it's all stranded throughout the whole thing. And now it's just right. And I had to go I had to talk to this guy that I know who's a BG&E guy. I was like, hey, man, because the motor itself is 2-wire, right? Hot, or it's actually, it has a yellow and it has hot and neutral. Or it can be wired as 220 and both are hot, but this is wired as 110. So one is hot, one is neutral. And so I'm running it into this box, this junction box, but the original cable was all 2-wire. So I was like, okay, I need to ground it, right? Like modern times, you want to ground your equipment. So I'm like talking to my friend who's BGE guy. I was like, hey man, do I got this correct? If I run the cable from the line wire is the line from the wall. The line will be 12.3. Actually, the other one was 14.3, or maybe that was 16.3. The higher the number, the smaller the gauge. The smaller, the thinner the wire. 12 is actually, for this application, 12 is really big. But I thought, in case one day I decide I want to put a bigger motor in here one day, if ever, then I'll have enough wire. Because you can go a little bit thicker, carry a little more current, or just a little bit thicker and it won't be too bad. But you really don't want to go more load, smaller wire, because then it all starts to heat up and melt, and then you hit a fire, and then everything burns down, and it's very, very ugly. So I was asking my guy, I said, okay, my understanding with this, I need to ground it. So I'm going to run the line into the switch, and the switch itself is only two-prong, right? It's a safety switch, right? Oops. It's a safety switch, so it has this off and on, but it's only two-prong, right? So, and this is actually, we'll do 110 and 220, or 120, 240, right? And it'll go up to 30 amps. So it has a lot of oomph. So I'll never need to replace this for this application, unless I put like a 5 horsepower motor in or some stupidity like that, which may not necessarily be beyond my realm of stupidity. But for the moment, it's fine, right? But you only have two wires, right? So load line goes here, line goes out to the motor, but there's no ground, right? There should be a third. Like if you look at a regular residential outlet like this one, you've got your hot, this brass looking nut. You've got your neutral, this silver nut, and then you have this green for ground. And you can wire it this way and you've got a ground, right? And it runs all the way to your panel in the house and grounds to the earth, and that's perfectly fine. But I was thinking, okay, how do I ground it on this end? So I call up my guy, I was like, hey man, do I have this correctly? If I join the ground wire, run it past this switch, through the box, or past this switch down to the junction box that's galvanized steel, I can wire that to the box and cause the ground, right? He's like, oh yeah, you're fine. You'll be fine. I was like, okay, good. So that's been my big project, or that's been my big like hurdle over the last couple of days. Mom says I smoke two back to back, so it feels like I'm smoking a Lancer. Nice. I like that idea. I need to get more of those small ones. Like Mike Rosales gave me a few of them, the little like petite ones, like you're talking about, the petite Coronas. I've already smoked through them. I'm like, man, I should have got more. I did not plan properly for this, for the next few months. Coming down to the wire. Oh, man, my neck hurts. I'm sore. I'm tired. I'm probably dehydrated. But what I'm not is hungry. I'm totally not hungry. Like, and I ate poorly today. Like today, what did I have? I got up and I did the live stream this morning, and we had cinnamon roll. Terrible. Cinnamon roll and coffee. Then I didn't eat the rest of the day until about 1:30. Then I was at the movies at 1:30. Got a popcorn, Diet Coke. Terrible. I mean, that's not good for you. And then around 5:30, I finally made it to Popeyes. Had wings at Popeyes with Diet Coke. Bad for you. And that's it. That's all I've had. It's kind of strange. Like I used to eat a lot more. But right now with this whole drugs, just not hungry. Very strange. And this shirt, like I said earlier in the broadcast, like this shirt didn't really fit. I mean, it was tight, like uncomfortably tight a year ago. Like I was like, oh, can't wear that. Can't wear that. Thank you for the shirt, but I can't wear it. The miracle of drugs. I don't know if the long-term effects is going to be positive or negative, but maybe we're at the age where like maybe that's not going to be such a big factor anymore. And we're almost to the point where I can't hold on to it. Like it's getting pretty warm. I think, I think I need a little sugar. Let me have another date. I tell you, these Arabs, man, with their dates and coffee. I do like it. I got to run the trash to the curb. Trash pickups tomorrow. All right, I think we're done with this. Like, it's almost burning my fingers. All right, that's good enough. That's good enough. It hasn't really changed. It's still as good. It just wasn't super dynamic. So I'm still saying very good plus. The burn has been very good, 8. Consistency, very good plus. And so that's 16.5. And I'm going to say 8.5 overall. That gives us a total of 83 points and 75 cents. 83.75. So not bad, not bad. It maybe I don't recall what it was like when it first came out 14 years ago. I mean, I have enjoyed the entire box very, very sporadically because these are rare and I guess they were kind of expensive, $20 a piece back in 2011. I was like, oh man. So I did not power through these. But a nice smoke, nice enough smoke. All right. I'm pretty exhausted, so we're going to sign off just a hair early. Thank you very much for hanging out with me again on the Thursday Night Hang. Always good to see all of you. Be back again next Thursday at 8 p.m. with more coffee and cigars. We're gonna maybe we'll do the one that Marvin Chang gave to me. Like Marvin did this collaboration for Hawaii's releases with Stolen Thrones. He gave me 2 versions of it that they have, and I haven't read anything about them, but they're just sitting in the humidor, just kind of chilling. So maybe we'll get to those eventually, or maybe next week. So we'll see. But don't forget, this 19th of July, we're definitely going to do our gathering here in the region. I don't know exactly where yet, but soon I will know. Soon I will know. Mom, always good to see you, man. Thank you very much. See you in the morning. Yeah, if you don't have any plans in the morning on the main channel, the Ono Coffee channel, I do a show about coffee, the coffee Q&A, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we're going to be roasting this Colombian coffee. I got an order for some Colombian coffee. I got an order for some coffee that they're going to take to these coffee aficionados. So I was thinking, I don't want to do the rig. I could have given them our normal like house, but I think these guys want something a little more adventurous. So I've got this other coffee from Huila. I think it's from Huila or maybe Tolima. That is, much more adventurous and much more in the vein of what a lot of modern coffee enthusiasts really like. So a lot lighter, a little bit. They're going to do a really kind of a lighter roast on it, like up the first crack and then drop it. And then we're going to see how it tastes on the show. So come and join us if you have time. If not, see you next week. Adios to you as well there, Mr. Borja. And thanks for tuning in and good to see all of you. Have a great one and see you next time.